Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the Island Church Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Matt Lombardi, joined as always by Pastor Will McRaney. Pastor Will, how you doing today?
It's just another great day on the island, Matt.
Yeah,
And it's a super day. A little chilly actually here. A little
gonna say
for us
the
at least.
Christmas chills are getting in the air, kind of getting to be hot cocoa season. We've got all of 1 month of that in Florida,
I
so
know
we'll enjoy it. Let's enjoy that Christmas season while we can.
a couple days of fall in the middle of
Yeah,
winter.
exactly. Well, speaking of Christmas and the kind of winter season that we have right now, uh, let us know, like, how was Sunday? I know we recently had the Pitchforks come do a great concert, really great turnout for that. Just tell us kind of some of the highlights of what's been going on at the church this past week.
Good. I'd be happy to. We had the School of Christian Living this past week, and that was good. I talked about a subject area that I've probably been teaching on for years and years. It's called servant evangelism, and basically it's where we do um, random acts or planned out acts. It can be either one of kindness, and we communicate the gospel intentionally. So it's
Yeah,
random acts of kindness or acts of kindness and intentional evangelism. And so just talked about that because really, Matt, the big thing I would say is that this is what I describe to our people is that the lost people are kind of leaning away from the church, and the church is kind of leaning away from lost people. And so what you end up with is this crazy situation like this, where we're leaning away from the very people we're trying to reach. So how do you get the church to lean in towards people that don't know Christ? And how do you get the people that could care less that we exist? How do you get them to lean in and possibly hear the gospel? And so you can do this through loving acts of kindness. And there's ways to do this for the down and out and up and out and working people and people that are done working in terms of their employment. So we talked about that on at School of Christian Living, and that just went really well. And I think you'll see some great things in the head for people to have a place to serve and do something to help someone, and at the same time help draw their heart towards at least towards the person and hopefully towards the gospel. So that was
absolutely.
School of Christian Living. That's good. That's a good topic,
Awesome.
and that's how we can actually live out our faith. We can do it in an organized kind of fashion, or you just do it with your neighbor.
Yeah,
You can do it individually or in a group. And then we had our worship service on Sunday, and we're talking about. We looked at Matthew chapter 2, where the wise men they probably went maybe as late as 2 years after the birth of Christ, but somewhere in that time period, went to see Christ and how they pursued Him and how we need to pursue God and pursue His presence. And they brought their gifts and they brought all that they were, and that's a good example for us. And so we did that, and then as you said, so good services on Sunday. Quite a number of guests and people returning from out of town that winter here. So that was good to see some old friends there. And then we had David Lawhead, who used to lead worship here for a little over a year. People just love David. If you've been around Island Church a while, you would know him. And so David came in and sang on Sunday morning, just because he
awesome.
wanted to be down. And so that was really good, just to see his smiling face. And then he led that St. Pete High School choral group, 7
Yeah,
young ladies, did just a remarkable job. If you saw it, you know it. If you didn't, you missed it. We actually recorded it for you.
nice.
So stay tuned and on our
That's
YouTube channel, and you'll be seeing that, because nothing
awesome.
like being in the room. But it was really outstanding just to see the young ladies sing, and David, as he engaged with them, and then the audience. And so we had a performance at 5 and a performance at 6. And so it gives us a good opportunity to engage with parents and with those young ladies. And so just a good day. Good day, Matt.
Awesome.
Not everything's perfect, but it was a super day.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I know with Christmas coming up, uh, lots of stuff going on, lots of ministry opportunities, lots of ways to plug in for folks, lots of ways to find kind of where you belong at Island Church. So, what are some of the ways coming up that would be best for folks to plug in?
Well, certainly they're welcome. This next week, we're going to have the School of Christian Living again at 8:45 and our worship service at 10. So I'd encourage you to come and invite a friend. Um, still the number one way people engage with the church is by invitation, by someone. We know Scott Weatherford, our friend, says
Yeah,
people come to Jesus best in the arms of a trusted friend. And so just be a good friend and invite people. So that's that. And upcoming, we have the Christmas Eve is the next Sunday, right?
yep,
And then we have New Year's Eve the next Sunday. So those 2 Sundays, we're just going to have the 10 o'clock service. We're not going to have the 8:45 service, the 8:45 School of Christian Living. So those 2 weeks, that's kind of been a practice for the church for some period of time, to not have but one
Yeah.
service those particular days. And so New Year's, it'll be just a 10 o'clock service only. But if you got family coming in, bring them with you.
Yeah.
If you've got guests coming in, bring them with you. We'll make space for them. If
Yeah.
necessary, we'll put them up there on the platform by me. No, I mean, we would only do that to church members. So we wouldn't do that to guests. But anyway, we've got that. And then the candlelight service is coming up on Christmas Eve at 5 o'clock. Just one service this year. Oh, one more thing. This coming week, this coming Sunday, I believe some children are going to do a little performance. Not going to be a long thing, but the children be up doing their thing. The great thing about having kids up is you'll never know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So as the father of three, right?
Yep. A little bit of candy, and you never know what they're going to say.
So that's coming up. The School of Christian Living, that. And then in terms of our men's ministry, we're meeting this week, and then we'll meet next week, and then we'll be off for a couple of weeks for the men's ministry. And then we're actually going to start things not just for the men that are available on Tuesday at noon, but Tom Crick, who will be here for most of the winter, a good part of the winter, January, February, March. And we're going to look at starting some things for men that are working. And so if you have an interest in that, know someone that might be of interest in that, then let us know. Maybe it's going to be structured a bit differently. But we understand that men run best in packs, best towards the good things. And they can run in packs towards bad things too. Yeah. But if you're going to run towards God, then we do that. Oh, and the women this week, Christmas party. They just have a great time when they get together Tuesday. They'll be off until the first part of January, and but their Christmas party is actually this week, on Tuesday of this week, and so they're getting together today. So that's another good thing coming up. A lot of good stuff.
All the stuff happening. It is a busy time of year. I think everyone's probably looking forward to that December 26th date, where you get kind of that week of the email's off. There's no events planned. It's kind of the nice chill season, a true rest period. But for now, we soldier on. There's lots of fun stuff going on. Pastor Will, how can folks be praying for the church specifically this week?
Good. I think I'm certainly glad you asked that. Our architect is beginning to work on plans for our expansion. His name is Michael Wilburn. Michael is actually a strong believer in his faith in Christ. He is actually a doctoral grad from New Orleans Seminary. He did his doctoral work under my friend, Dr. Hal Stewart. And he looked at churches in Florida that expanded their building and how that impacted their attendance, their participation, and in their giving. And so we got a guy that's third generation kind of church builder, just a great guy. And so just pray for Michael Wilburn. And then David Brooks, I'm not sure if I mentioned on here yet or not, but David Brooks from our church is going to be leading the expansion team. Yep. And David brings a wealth of experience in a lot of different kinds of fields. He's an engineer by his training. And so David's going to be giving leadership to that. So we look forward to that. So you can pray for just that whole process, because we really are trying to build a tool to expand our missions. I talked about people leaning away from the church. Yeah. And if we can build a facility that can help us with children, that can help us to do various types of events for the community, that our people can actually help lead, right? With their gifts and talents and skills, any number of conferences or workshops from Medicaid, Medicare issues or security issues or after school or preschool. I mean, any number of kinds of things we can do this. We're trying to build a tool so that people can first connect with us there before they ultimately connect with the church and connect with Christ. That's right. The ultimate objective, right? Absolutely. And so this is really important. And the church is still praying for a pastorium. I mean, I'm not personally looking for a place, but the church needs to, that would be a huge, if someone has a home, extra home, they want to give a home, they want to give land, they want to give money towards that, they can certainly do that. But, during this time of the year, we wanted to think about being generous in our giving. We can give to a lot of things, but the church, the Christians, the people that follow Christ must help primarily focus in first, at least, on advancing the gospel. Absolutely. And there's a lot of money floating around, all kinds of stuff. I'm still amazed when I think about political campaigns, and I think about all the various organizations out there just flush with cash. But his church, advancing his church, And so I just encourage people just to consider your giving through the year, and maybe you're going to make an end of year giving, but just make a generous gift to the mission of Christ. It's not just to this church, or it's when we return, it's actually to the Lord. And so I encourage people towards that.
Absolutely. Well, those are some great ways to be praying for the church. Very, very practical, right? Things that we can see the tangible differences of. So love that. Pastor Will, thank you so much for joining us this week. And if you are watching at home, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay up to date with all those videos, not just our weekly podcast, but all those special videos as well.
Right.
And we'll see you again next week.